This is the COMbridge capstone demo, and today I'll be demoing for you the first thing you'll see here is the automatic login screen, and you can see the username and password are entered because the Remember Me switch is on, and it logs in automatically when the application is launched. And from here we have the home view, and we have the options to go to either a calendar view or a list view. And first I'll demo the list view. So here you can see the list is being populated from their server, and it brings us here to a week view. And in this week view we can see that for every week where there's an entry, we see that the text has been bolded, and therefore we can click on it. Weeks that have no entries, such as this one here, cannot be clicked. So we can click here, we can view all these tasks that were made for this week in April. And then we can also add tasks. Here I'll add a task, set the date, and now you'll notice here this is the 12-hour date picker. This is based on the iOS region format and region settings. For the final implementation it will be in German, and they'll have a 24-hour clock, so they won't have the AM and PM here. So now with the duration of 1 hour we have a task set here. We'll click Done. And now we'll set the type of task. We have an activity tag. It's associated with one of these tasks. And here we can see what the task is. And then we also have a location for the task. So this one will pick the borough in Hamburg, the office in Hamburg. And then we'll set the description. And we'll just call this test description. Okay, and here we have a record with all the entries filled. And to upload it to their server now, we can click Done. And if there are any problems, we'll get an SAP specific error message that will tell us what was wrong in German. And so we can see that it's working here based on the spinner. And those spinners are nice so that the user won't try and click Done several times. Okay, so now we can see that we can select from May. It's running a little slow here, I think, because of QuickTime, using the screen capture software. And here, now we can see the task that we just added to today, the 8th. And it was loaded successfully into the server. We got no error messages. So that all works fine and dandy. And the other thing, aside from adding a record, you may want to edit a record. And so here we'll load up this record from the 6th. And we'll change the description to Test Now. And barring any SAP specific errors or restrictions, you could also decide to change the date and task and location. So here we'll try modifying this record. And we'll see whether or not it commits without any errors. This one looks like it committed without any SAP restrictions. So there we have a successful edit and a successful add. Here we'll look at this edit we just made. And we see that now the description does indeed say Test Now. So now that we have seen the ability to edit and add a record, we'll look at the ability to delete a record. And now this ability is only available for the current month. So I couldn't go back to April or January and delete records from those months because that's an SAP restriction. And in this case, we're handling that restriction on the client side as opposed to trying to delete and send that message to the server and then come back and say it can't. So I mean, as much as we can handle on the client side, we try to do. So here we'll delete this record that we created today, and here it's in the process of deleting, and now we can see that it's gone. So that's deleting a record. So now the only other thing to really show is the ability to view records in a calendar view. And this is really handy because, as you can see, the week view and list views can get quite populated. with lots of different records. So what if we want to see us, in a calendar view, it is quite handy. So we'll get back to the home view. So here we are in the home view, and this time we'll select the calendar view. And now here you see it loads the calendar, in this case May, and it will, any days that are given a record, any days that contain a record, will have a dot by them so that you know that there was a task on that day. So we deleted the one for today, so there's none on today, but we can look back at last week and see, oh, Friday the 4th we had a record entered. And now here in this little list we can see what it was. And if there's multiple records, you'll see that as well down here. Sometimes it takes a little while for it to load. Yep, see here on Tuesday the 1st we had multiple records. I mean, if there's more than 3, you can scroll down. And you can simply go to that record from the calendar view and then change anything here if you so desired. And so that pretty much sums up the demo here for the iPhone application for working with COMbridge's SAP systems. Clearly there can be some improvements that can be made in the future. Specifically, I think that showing more text for some of the tasks within those cells would be handy, but those shouldn't be any difficult changes to really make in the future. The main functionalities of adding, deleting, and modifying records and viewing them in List View and Calendar View have all been accomplished, as you've seen here, and that really represents the entirety of this demo. Thank you.